Hi guys, Togre here for a new World of Warcraft video. This video is about FuRy warriors and why people think FuRy are bad, but technically aren't. But first thing first, please put a like if you like this kind of format. It helps me to know if I do it wrong or I do it good. Subscribe to my channel to support me and also comment below what you would like to see in the future, what kind of videos you want to see, what kind of content you want to see, but also what is your opinion about this spec. Is it really D tier? Is it really C tier? Really unplayable in trees? Let me know in the comments below, please, so I can know what you guys think about this spec. Now, let's go back to the video. Why do people think FuRy are bad? Let's look back at the main weaknesses of FuRy and see what makes people believe it is bad. And of course, let's debunk some popular myths. But first, the first myth is, or at least a fact, but is a little bit exaggerated. The most obvious difference between FuRy and his big brother Arms is the Mortal Strike effect. Mortal Strike effect does help to kill a few hybrids or healers a little bit faster or a little bit easily, but is in my opinion not the end all by all. Mages, shadow priests, DKs, elementals, even warlock doesn't even have a Mortal Strike effect. But why do people still play those classes if they don't have it? Because they can be paired with a class that has a Mortal Strike effect, or their damage tries to negate that aspect of what makes arms so good. But it's not like their utility are that better than a FuRy warrior or a warrior in general. FuRy warriors have access to some gimmicky Mortal Strike effect with Unhinged. I'm going to explain it a little bit later. Being able to do two Mortal Strike effects as a FuRy warrior, Blade Storming making it like technically 50% more damage on a 1 minute cooldown, on a 3 seconds cast, and aligns with your offensive CDs very well. So it does very good damage, provides you two more strike effects like everyone wants to have, and it does also a good duration. So you can align CDs, you can align bursts with your teammate, you can really align kills and potentials of killing the healer or the hybrid DPS. The second popular myth is that FuRy Warriors doesn't deal a special kind of damage, doesn't have a uniqueness to the spec, which makes it hard to value the damage that it can provide. Now, it is purely subjective, first. If you don't think that FuRy is that special spec that everyone wants to play, that is your opinion and you are also entitled to your opinion. But it is purely a myth that players like to share with each other until it becomes a reality. Thing is, FuRy Warriors can easily top damage charts in 3s and in 2s. FuRy has some basic offensive CDs, but they are very powerful on a very short CD and has crazy duration for it. Trust me when I say that FuRy Warriors have accessible and very random damage and burst, which if you never saw a FuRy kill people, then I think you don't play enough arenas or BGs to see those FuRys wrecking people. If you only see arms playing, then I guess maybe the meta is very centered around those Mortal Strike effect. But you can still find your way into arena and still have success. I know in twos everyone can have success. In threes anyone can be gladiator and not being rank 1 but at least 2.4. But that is also a myth itself. I'm going to explain it in another video in another time. But the third and real problem for FuRy Warriors, which is not a myth, is their lack of defensives. They do lack a defensive stance, they do lack die by the sword, which makes you immune to physical damage in front of the warrior. And enraged regen has a very obvious counter, and its name is mind games, which technically, if you're hitting bloodthirst, you are trying to kill yourself by doing it, because first of all you heal the enemy and you damage yourself because of it. So it's really, really, really annoying to deal with. And of course, I can understand the frustration around it and why Fury warriors are not that dominant in arenas, since if you are against a disc priest or against a shadow priest and they are Venthyr, you will try to avoid hitting Bloodthirst at the wrong time. But then again, you are not alone, you're not playing 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, you have teammates that you can rely on. If the priest wants to mind games you, again, your healer can heal you, your DPS can save you, can do some burst, can do some CC. You're not alone, and I think people try to put specs into some kind of tier without thinking like, okay, he's not playing alone, or okay, he's playing alone. Again, it's not a solo tier, it's not a solo spec tier that you're trying to get, or a tier list that you want to make. It is an arena tier list or an RBG tier list. So you're not thinking about Fury getting killed that easily because one spell. But that's, I digress. We can talk about it in a future video. But let's now debunk it one by one. First of all, Motor Strike effect does make it harder to make good comps. If you don't have a Motor Strike effect, or you don't have the ability to kill people without it, like Mage Rogue can have the Motor Strike effect, but it's very minimal. Some comps don't need it, like Mage Elemental or Mage Shadow Priest. But why does Fury need it that much? Again, if you really need a Moral Strike effect, why don't you play with a Windwalker? Why don't you play with a Demon Hunter? Or with even a very strong caster like Shadow Priest or Mage? Those comps are viable even without Moral Strike effect. Because what makes Warrior very good at the moment is their Reflect, which you can pair it with the Reflect legendary, which makes it very annoying to play against. But you also have Intercept. With the Intercept conduit, Safeguard, you are technically helping everyone with it. So why do people always forget about the utility that the warrior can provide? But for arms, they are S tier, they have utility, they have MS, they have the damage. But Fury, the only thing that they're really lacking is their defensives and their mono strike effect, because the damage is on par with arms. So it makes it an ideal friend for those classes in general. But arms is the obvious easier choice. I'm not saying that arms is not S tier and that Fury is on par with arms. I'm just saying that it can be S tier and Fury can also be something else than D tier. That is my opinion for Fury at the moment. Fury always has been the little bro, but the little pro always gets stronger with the patches that are coming our way, because Fury will get buffed until everyone realizes that it gets overbuffed. Now the third one is not really a myth. At least the second popular myth is really a myth because it does a lot of damage. If you ask anyone that teams up with a Fury Warrior, it has insane damage, especially with Ancient Aftershock. If you would like to see why Ancient Aftershock is that good, you can see it in my video about the Covenant ability that I made Sunday, excuse me, and how it changed my gameplay for the better. How it changed the capacities to try to kill people, to try to kill hybrids, to try to kill healers. How you can cleave people around with Aftershock. How you can even crit for 12k with Ancient Aftershock, and that even without great gear. Imagine if you have like 226 eye level. You can blow people out of space with it. So from what I've seen, Fury has untapped potential. What I can see and what I can understand is their defensive capabilities are very low, but again, they can always upgrade that first instead of the damage. I feel like the utility that it can provide plus the damage it can provide, the only thing that they're really lacking are either a easy mono strike effect that they can have on demand on a rampage, which would be very very strong in my opinion, and maybe even more OP than mono strike, since you have like the cleave potential that you can have all the time. But you can maybe buff the defensives from FuRy, which will propose FuRy to an easy B tier or an easy A tier. I'm not saying that they are S tier or A plus, but for sure D tier or C tier, it was a very, very, very harsh judgment to put like FuRy as a D tier on the same tier as a Demonology Warlock, which has obvious reasons why they are on D tier, because they are lacking the potential to be a solo spec without pet. But that is another discussion for another day. For me, the Unhinged Legendary paired with Ancient Aftershock and the offensive CDs from FuRy make it very bursty and very strong. I know Unhinged is a arms legendary, but it works very well with FuRy. Has a 1 minute CD, which arms tries and believes and wants to have it. But FuRy has a 1 minute CD on a shoulder cast, which is even better since you want to unhinged as fast as possible and then go back to rampaging people and trying to ancient aftershock their asses. Now, you have also multiple viable builds as FuRy, which also makes it very fun. And the most important aspect of FuRy, which I always say, is the fun that you can have with FuRy. I've grown out of arms. That's why I'm playing FuRy now all the time with my warlock and with my druid. And for me, FuRy has been reviving this class for me. Like I was really close to abandon it and completely not playing warrior anymore on this expansion. But FuRy made it very fun and very accessible for me to enjoy this class. I'm fighting to make people realize that it is not a dead spec, and the few buffs that are coming our way will for sure make us an unstoppable powerhouse. People will soon realize, and trust me, they will realize. Now, that's it for this video. Do you like or dislike the video? Did I make you change your mind about FuRy? Do you want me to finally Do you want to finally pair yourself with a FuRy warrior? Do you want to stop playing arms, but you were scared to make the switch to FuRy? It made you change your mind or not? Please let me know in the comments. It really helps me. And I like to help people realize that FuRy is not that dead spec that they believe it was. So subscribe to my channel to again support me, but also see me improve as a content creator. And any advice is welcome, and hopefully I can make content that is enjoyable for you guys, but also interesting and educative for you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Be safe and have a wonderful day. Bye.